Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to talk about slavery. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "No one is allowed to enslave a freed person." So Islam do not allow to enslave anybody. On the other hand, in the beginning, because the slavery was a trend of the society, so Islam gradually decreased it and then kind of abandoned it altogether. But there was one condition left in which a slave could be acquired, which is during war times. So there is hikmah, there is wisdom behind it. I will talk about that in a moment. But first of all, I want to talk about Islam actually promoted freeing the slaves. So Islam actually do not allow to enslave somebody. On the other hand, if there is a person who is already enslaved by some other person, then a Muslim can buy it, and it is better for him to free him or her. So it is from the Quran, it is from the Hadith. There are a lot of verses about it to free a slave. So Islam gradually asked the believer to free as much as slaves they can. So Islam do not promote slavery. So what only condition was left to have somebody slave in somebody to enslave someone is war. So how that is different from other kinds of slavery, or how we cannot say that Islam do not allow slavery and slavery is not in Islam. Let's see the case. If somebody, some person or some nation attacks another nation, so that person wants to kill that person, or that person wants to do war with the Muslim country. So those people have ill intention or bad intention to affect Muslims. So during a war, if Muslim capture some enemy people, and they are not slaves, actually they are actually war prisoners. So before becoming slaves, they are war prisoners, they are already captive, they are already captive of Allah, because when some country attacks a Muslim country, then it is the commandment of Allah to defend that country, and the war is actually commanded by Allah. So that is why jihad, or in the war, the jihad is called jihad fi sabilillah. It is the fighting in the way of Allah, it is the struggle in the way of Allah. So everything belong to Allah. The war prisoners belong to Allah, and Allah has given it to the believer. The punishment for those invaders, and the gift for the defender to have them as a slave. But they are already war prisoner. A Muslim cannot enslave a free person. They are already captive, they are not free person. So the Muslim can have a already captive person as a slave. So Islam only give this condition to have a slave, otherwise you cannot enslave anybody. So it is clear that no Muslims are allowed to enslave anybody. But the war captives are already not free person, they are already captive and they are already prisoner. So a best solution for them to survive is to be enslaved, because the other two options are they could be killed, they could be imprisoned. If they are killed, then that is the worst case for them, and if they are imprisoned, then they may be get psychological problems. Their health will go down, and it will cost a lot of money providing food and other things to the prisoner as well. So it is not very much practical. It is not good for prisoner as well. It is not good for the people who are imprisoning them. So it is best treatment, or it is best solution if they are put into the household of the defender peoples, and they are made the part of household, so they can interact with each other. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, you have to feed your slaves what you eat, you have to give the clothes which you wear. If a slave is working, you should help him, do not beat him, do not torture him, and be merciful on them. So the best solution for a war captive or war prisoner is that to enslave them, and when they have good faith, then the Quran says, the Quran commanded to the Mu'mineen Muslimin that if a slave wants to do a freedom contract with his owner, and owner should not reject it, should not deny it, or should not go against it, but allow the slave to have that contract, and whatever the contract is, if he fulfill, then he should free him or her. So I think Islam gives best solution for the war prisoners or captive, and that is the only scenario or case in which Muslims are allowed to have a slave, or if somebody has slave and they buy from that person. So already enslaved person, already captive person is allowed to buy, which a Muslim do not enslave, but they are already enslaved. So that was the only condition allowed. Otherwise, Islam do not allow slavery or enslaving peoples. Because of this practice, slavery become very less, and it was abandoned during the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Umar radiallahu anhu said, no one is allowed to enslave anybody in 8 provinces. And because of this rule, and in every Muslim era, only war captives were allowed to be enslaved. For now, I think the video is getting longer. For now, this should be enough for proving that Islam do not promote slavery, and I will go in more detail in other videos, and inshallah talk about more details about war related stuff later in other videos. Until then, assalamu alaikum. But before that, I think I will encourage my viewers to please subscribe my channel, and please comment, like, and share the videos if you like it, and give me feedback with the comments, and also promote my channel. Thank you very much for that, and it will encourage me to make more videos. And fi man Allah, assalamu alaikum.